everybody. Thank you very much for joining the hacking webinar or hacking impact wrap for profits. My name is Dan Fraden. I'm founder and CEO of Impact Wrap. Before we jump into the webinar, just want to give a quick intro with Impact Wrap in case there's anybody new that doesn't quite know anything about Impact Wrap. So let me just quickly take you through a little bit of Impact Wrap here. Sorry for all those who may know Impact Wrap more intimately than this, but I just want to show just everything in situ here. So Impact Wrap, at the heart of it, we have a little fitness tracker that goes on pretty much any type of bag, and it measures your force and your strike count, and your scores as you're working through a workout are shown together up on a leaderboard on the TV. And we have Impact servers that connect uh, to the TVs and also connect through Bluetooth over to the bags. Just real quick here, we're on the third generation of our platform. The hardware, the tracker here is just a side note, probably made here in the USA near where I am. It's in New Jersey. We have heart rate monitors and servers, and the software, both with apps, with member apps that have a lot of data and engagement and performance metrics, as well as software for the gyms, everything from a calendar system or creating customized workouts to integrating the heart rate monitors. And of course, we have data that is used for great, and you'll talk to a number of gym owners, and we have a number of ideas how to engage with the data that we have now. We do have a lot that's going to be rolling out. We're in the process of setting the roadmap for all of Impact Wrap. So actually everyone on the call, we're going to be sending out a survey asking for some ideas. We have a whole bunch of things we can work on. Can't work on everything at once, so we're looking to prioritize. So we have a lot of great things coming this year for further engagement. Just a quick little thing about Impact Wrap, just our experience. Folks don't always know, we're in 250 plus gyms around the world in 6 continents. I have tried to get into Antarctica. I've gotten hold of a research facility there, so there's a chance. We have 2.6 million workouts under our belt. That's actually equivalent to 343 years of experience. I can even fathom this. Like years ago when I first started, it was like literally me in a garage hand painting these things, and now we have 178,000 addressable users in our database. Those are just members that have worked out or working out on Impact Wrap just around the world. So we've come far with our system, and what we want to do now is set up even better materials for you for training, for support, getting the best ROI out of Impact Wrap. So Travis is going to come on. I would love for you to give a little intro on yourself. And these are going to be a continuing thing. We already have a webinar that we were going to do for next month. It's all about fight night and competitions. And then, oh, hey, Pedro, I love your little one. And then followed up by communication. So there's a lot of things we can do in Impact Wrap for engaging with members. We have a lot of social media assets and resources that you may not even know about. So we want to keep on adding to the curriculum, as it were, with these different webinars. So with that said, I'll turn it over to Travis.
Thanks, Dan. So my name is Travis. I own Alpha's Gym. We just had our 5th year anniversary. So we've been open 5 years now. I used to be in the software space. I sold software. That's how I made my living, to earn the money to open a gym. There just basically came a day. I'm sure a lot of us have the same kind of stories where we just didn't like what we were doing. And I'd always boxed and I'd always lifted, and I that's what I'd always wanted to do. So I found myself, like we probably all have, there was an escape path, to get out of what we didn't want to be doing. And I opened the gym 5 years ago. But I've always been very comfortable with technology, which is sort of why I'm here right now. Dan says to introduce myself. I own a gym. I'm one of you guys, but I'm also very comfortable with technology. And whenever I see something that works, I really like to get my hands on it and play with things. And I sort of got to a point where the gym ran itself. Another thing you guys might understand, like it's noon. There's nothing to do. There's no really at the gym. The gym's clean. Nobody to call back. Everything's just working. So I reached out to Dan. I was like, man, I love your product. I've been using it for a long time. Can I do anything? He's like, I really need somebody who knows our product that can reach out to the existing members and help them along. And like, buddy, I'm in. So, whatever I can do, let me know. And that's what sort of got us here. Dan brought up the idea of giving a talk on how I make money, how I have more members using Impact Wrap. And there's certainly some very specific things that I can point to. And that's what we wanted to sort of go over today. Now, from my days of doing software demos, please, I cannot stress this enough. It's boring as hell when I just give a presentation. If I just give a presentation, I'm bored, you're bored, it's canned, it's no fun. Okay. So if you guys have a question of anything at all, it literally does not matter what your question is, fire away. Unmute yourself, raise your hand, whatever you want to do, and I will drive us to whatever's interesting. Okay, so let's give this a test. Is everybody okay with that? Asking questions, say yes. Unmute yourself and say yes. I will ask questions. Do it.
All good.
Yes.
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 So the way to view this, guys, is we're all peers. We're peers, and we're just here to figure out how to be more successful with this technology. I'm not a leader. Dan's not a leader. Todd's not a leader. We're in this together, guys. So if you think something's interesting, I promise you somebody else thinks the same thing. Don't be afraid. Just ask whatever it is. Okay. So let's get started. If the topic is hacking Impact Wrap for profits, there's one very clear thing, and it's what I believe it was Shannon and I was sort of talking about a little bit. There's a hack, there's a best practice that I want to talk to you guys about that's readily available right now that has made me a lot of money in the system, and it's running uncoached classes. Okay. And what I mean by that, guys, is I happen to be a 24/7 gym, the same as Shannon. Okay. I'm a 24/7 gym. There's a key fob. I've got a 4,000 square foot weight room area. I've got another 4,000 feet where the boxing area is and the fitness and all that. People can come in at midnight, 8 o'clock in the morning, noon. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. Nobody has to be here. They can work out. Okay. So what I've done on the boxing side is what you see here, my calendar inside Impact Wrap. Every hour on the hour from 5 a.m. until 10 p.m. If there's not a live class scheduled, a class runs. And all somebody has to do is grab a remote, turn on the TV, and at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, a class runs. Okay. And there's a couple benefits to this that I want to go over. Okay. It doesn't cost me anything. There's no head count. I'm not paying a coach for anything. Okay. But being able to give a tour to a prospect, who isn't sure if they can make your noon classes and your 4 o'clock class and your 6 o'clock class and your 9:30 class, but they've said they've got a lunch at 1 o'clock every day. Okay. Or they're always looking for something to do at 8 o'clock at night. Okay. Well, I still hope you make my live classes, but if it's Wednesday at 8 p.m. and you're itching for a workout, okay, I got something for you. All they have to do is turn on the TV and the class runs. Tells them when to hit combos, when to do push-ups, when to rest, everything else. Now, the way I've got it set up here, as you can see, Sunday's all the same, except for the live classes, but it's different from Monday, different from Tuesday, different from Wednesday. So every day they come in, there's a new workout, and it doesn't matter what it is. Okay. Now, there's two very specific ways that this helps make you money. Okay. The first is gym tours. Okay. Let's generally say that for most of you, because again, I've got weightlifting and other stuff. For most of you, I'm going to assume that your classes are your main source of profit. I'm going to assume, okay? Classes, people are signing up for your classes. That's where they're giving your money. Now, if I give a tour, and right now I'm Central Time, it's 2:13. If I was to look at my leaderboard right now, there's a class that started at 2 o'clock. If a tour walks in right now at 2:13, okay, hey, I'm curious about your gym. Always wanted to see it. I want to take boxing classes. And I run them through my gym and I get back to where my area is. There's a class that's running. Okay, keep this in mind. This is very important. I'm talking about my gym. I'm talking about my hours, my great coaches, my pricing, what sets us apart, how we build relationships, all the experience the coaches have. Same conversation you guys should be having. What are you here for? What have you tried before? What works? What doesn't work? Well, here's where the magic is by having a class that's running. I walk over, I turn on my TV, and I flip that sensor on. Okay. And I say, we've invested in technology. Okay. This is Impact Wrap. This is how it works. There's a sensor on the bag. It measures force. The harder you hit, the more often you hit, the higher your score is going to be. If you wear a heart rate monitor in real time, I can look up and see the calories you burn, your percentage of max heart rate, the color tile changes based on where you are. And all of that data from that workout is going to go to an app on your phone. What I'm doing, guys, is letting them know the class experience is more than just hitting a dumb bag. Okay. Because the class is running. And I can talk to them. Hey, we use punch numbers here. Instead of saying jab, cross, hook, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. I know you don't know punch numbers yet, but it's fun to learn. You'll learn in about 5 minutes. You got your whole lifetime to master it. Okay. So I flip on the TV, I flip on the sensors, I give my spiel, and I hit the bag a couple of times, and the numbers move. Okay. Well, now they get it. Okay. Now they start to see a little bit. Oh, he's hit the bag, the numbers move, that's a score. Okay. And then guess what? I have them hit the bag for a little bit. They're hitting the bag, and the numbers are moving, and now we're having fun, guys. My gym tour, trying to get new money from that prospect, the likelihood of them signing up has just gone up. Does anybody disagree with that? It's now an interactive tour.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. The whole plan is to get their hands on something. They're not only seeing how my classes run, because the combo's up on the screen, there's a timer, it gives that 10-second warning about what's saying. They're visualizing themselves in class right now. Oh, okay. I can see myself doing this now. I'm getting the feedback of how everything's going. Okay. Again, this is about profits. I want that person coming in as comfortable as possible, being able to see themselves. I talk about where my favorite bag is. Okay. I talk about, oh, you like this one here? Well, you're going to be working out next to Julie. Julie's a rock star. She's super friendly. Okay. Being able to show the technology that I've invested in helps the chances of that tour. Before I go to part 2 of this, does anybody have any questions about that tour aspect and why I want classes to run all the time? Scott.
Yes, on the uncoached classes, the audio for the sequence, do you have one of your coaches with video that plays on the screen as well, or are you just going off of the screen and the audio is the music or whatever you're playing in the background?
So if I understand your question, the answer is basically I keep it very simple. Um, I don't use video at all in any of my classes, Scott. I've never just needed to. On the fitness side, I do. I don't want to sidetrack us, but I've got a fitness side of my gym too, where we do boot camps and group strength and all that kind of stuff. Images and video works over there better from boxing. Um, Most of the time, if someone's taking an uncoached class, they've been through my live classes enough that nobody needs to demonstrate how to throw a hook, or to how throw a roundhouse kick because they've done enough live classes that it is. It's simply there just to guide them as a workout. And I don't mess with audio because it's competing with my gym music. Does that make sense? I just want one thing to hear. A bell is all I really want them to hear. Am I answering the question okay for you, Scott?
Yeah, our large class format, as you probably know, is an instructor-led class with music playing the whole time, but our instructor moderates the music and does the mic. We record those classes. We live stream 33 classes a week. I can repurpose that video and run a class during an uncoached class with that video if I wanted, and sync it up with the class plan for that day from that. But I was just curious how you did it.
It's really just running a class. It's almost as if a coach was to suddenly show up, and be there to just talk through the workout. When I get to the second part, I'll get into a little bit more about that coach aspect of the whole thing, but it really just runs. I've got so many OGs at my place now, Scott. It like the coaches almost sometimes get in the way for what they want to do. Okay. And if a particular combo, like I hate 1, 2, 5, 6, I hate jab, cross, uppercut, uppercut. Never liked the combo, hate throwing the combo. If I'm back there and 1, 2, 5, 6 shows up on the screen, I'm hitting whatever I want. Okay. So sometimes that little bit of extra, they're by themselves, they can do whatever they want to do, and they understand that kind of goes a long way. Dan's pulling up one of my workouts right now. Which one is this, Dan?
This is Laverne.
Oh, I love Laverne. It's named after my grandmother. So when my grandmother passed away, I made a workout in her honor. So this is one of my favorites.
So you can see here, yep, all the way at the top here. So Scott, we do even have a template too for an image, because if we can talk offline on this, but there's two options. One is video. We're moving to 4K. Right now, it's not 4K. So we would talk about compression and the quality on that. but hopefully in the very near future we'll be at 4K. Otherwise, there's also images you can put in there with either like literally broken down with the round or what you're supposed to be doing. So there are a couple different options that are out there as well. But with Travis, because he names all the rounds, puts the combinations in there, it shows up right up on the screen there as well above the timer as it's going through. So all these, if we scroll down here, this will show up on the leaderboard as the workout is going through.
Got it. I'm just trying to figure out how to, my mind is kind of spinning on the idea of uncoached classes and trying to figure out how to implement it.
So the way to think about it, Scott, is you don't necessarily implement, you make it available, which is literally leading into the second thing I'm going to talk about. Is it's a member value add. Think of it as a simple member value add. So I know you guys aren't 24/7, but let's say you unlock the door at 4 o'clock. I'm making this up as I go along, Scott. You open the door at 4 o'clock for the evening, but your first class isn't until 5:30. Run any session from like 4 to 4:45 and 4:45 to 5:30, and just make it a value add. The guys, I know you may be up like Julie can't make your 5:30 class because she's got kids basketball practice that night, but she could roll in at 4 o'clock right when you open the door, and she's just going to run over and have a guided workout. Set up just pure member value add. And if she doesn't know the combos or she's not comfortable, it's just an opportunity to train, at your place with good music, and maybe you're walking around and maybe you could give her a little pointer if you have time, a chance to build a relationship a little bit. It's strictly member value add, which is what the second thing I'm going to talk about, guys, if we're ready for that.
Well, Shannon has a question.
I actually was just going to add to that because that's what I do. I always encourage our new members to come to the instructed classes that we do in the evenings. But as an added bonus, when Sarah can't get there because of soccer practice during those hours in the evening, that can be pretty busy for families. Once she's comfortable with the motions of the class and learns how to follow along with the impact wrap class, then she has 24 hours at her disposal to come anytime and use those classes. A lot of times people come into a boxing gym and they don't know what to do. It's not like your average gym where there's tons of machines to do things for you. So they're a little confused. So once they learn the mechanics of the boxing gym and how to work through a boxing workout, then they're able to come in on their own time and do these, because I run these classes 24/7 as well. And it has boosted our memberships because it's flexible for them. They don't have to be there during the group hours with the instructor.
And Shannon, I'm sure you've had the same thing. I've got some, some members who just have anxiety and don't want to be in a class, and it just turns out that way. And they just want to train on their own until they think they're good enough to go to a class. It's a sad circumstance. We're as welcoming as you can be, but some people just can't get out of their own way or their own heads, and they just want to be by themselves for a little bit. So, and it literally costs you guys nothing, guys. There's no reason not to have it available. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, as we've just about covered that second piece I want to go through anyway, without even really addressing it, we've sort of covered it. Other than when I talked about the gym tours, it's really good in a gym tour. I have, if you were to count up all the classes that I auto run, which is what I call it, or impact classes, I have 99 auto run classes a week. You know how good it is to say on a gym tour that I've got 99 impact classes a week? Their ears perk right up. Okay. My competitor down the street has 16 classes a week total. Okay. I've got 25 live classes and 99 impact classes, plus all my fitness classes. You think I'm kicking that competitor's ass? Hell yeah, I am. We charge the same thing. It's the same monthly rate, but I've got 4 times, based on what my prospect is hearing, class availability. So the more of that you can add, all it does is add value to that prospect in that tour. Okay. The next part I'm going to address is there's a way that I like to run classes in Impact Wrap that have made me money, and I want to make sure we're doing that. So before I leave the auto class topic, anybody have any questions about that? Otherwise, I'm going to jump off it. Victor.
I have a question, Travis.
Okay, Pedro. Yep.
Turn off my video there. So I have twin boys in there running
No worries.
around, chaotic, and yeah, I'm back in. But numbers wise, as far as those auto run classes, how many? What's the participation like when you say it's added to the membership and the gross and so on? You keep track of those numbers. What those numbers look like?
It would be, then again, I'm answering very honestly, Pedro. 10 o'clock, 0. 11 o'clock, 0. Noon, maybe one person. 1 o'clock, maybe one person. 2 o'clock, 0. 3 o'clock, 0. But guess what? It didn't cost me a thing. Didn't cost me a thing. And it's for my prospects.
Okay.
It's honestly, I do it just as much so that anytime a gym tour walks in, I'm able to go through that whole setup of why you should join my gym. And having Impact Wrap up on that screen, on that TV, with all of that process that I go through, that
Okay.
has just as much as the value add for the member, if that makes sense. So don't get frustrated if nobody uses your system for 3 weeks. Okay. Because I promise you, within that 3 weeks, there have been tour opportunities, I promise you, where somebody walks in on the street, wants to check your gym out, and you can turn on your TV. And the way you run that tour, you are more likely to sign somebody up. And all it costs is the time to set up a couple of classes. Okay?
So I had a question.
Yeah, Victor.
And so like if you're offering memberships based on 1, 2, 3 classes per week, with a live instructor, how do you then tier that if you have, the ultimate package, unlimited, and you can go to anything you want. But what if someone's on a once a week membership? Do they still have access to all of those then? Or how does that dynamic change when you have that availability? Because obviously you want to sell your trainer classes to make a higher profit. But whenever you're in that zone and you have those, like, it's a great amenity to have, classes run for absolutely no money. But where does the change happen?
All right. So that's a hell of a question, Victor. I've talked about this process for a long time, and nobody has ever asked me that question before. So great way. The simple way, gym owner to gym owner. If we're just sitting at a bar and we're having this conversation, my man, it very much depends on the relationship that you have with your boxing people. Dan has heard me say something similar to this before, which is simply give it away. Okay. That just to make it available to any of your members. Doesn't matter what the package is, up or down, because it's not costing me a head count. Other than, here's the one caveat: if people are doing the uncoached classes, and that takes away from your revenue from paid classes because they're no longer paying for that, that's a danger. Okay, so just be conscious of that. Otherwise, if you're buying a 3 class a week, if you're selling a 3 class a week package, $50. I'm making up a number. Okay. And you find that they're not using those because they're coming to the 2 o'clock uncoached classes instead, then you have to address that from a revenue standpoint. Okay. We're going to charge an extra $20 a month, whatever it is, for this availability. And if you pay for it, you have it. If you do not have to do, though, I strongly recommend that you give to get. Okay. That you make it available. Hey guys, I've invested in technology. I love you. Here's a big hug. I want us to get better at boxing and kickboxing, and I wanted to see you more. I've done this for you. Okay. And get the credit, the relationship built that way is what I would recommend. But that being said, you do not want to lose revenue from Impact Wrap from this process. So just be very conscious of that. Now, I'm going to open this up to everybody. Did anybody have a better answer for Victor? Because I just pulled that out of my ass. If anybody has something better, Shannon, go ahead.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is like this. So we do draw, we're only staffed Monday through Friday, 5 to 8 p.m., 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. My gym runs 24/7 the rest of the time with no one there. So our classes that we instruct are only between 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. So if I'm selling a drop-in, an open gym drop-in during the day, that person is obviously welcome to utilize the auto run Impact Wrap. And sometimes that's enough just to make them fall in love with the gym and join as a member.
Hey, Shannon, is it okay if I show your calendar so that
Sure.
people can see it? Yeah.
And then outside of that, when we are staffed in there in the evenings, open gym plus a class is a different rate. for that. And then I'm there to police that at that point, and they're there for an instructor. So I've never felt like I'm missing out on revenue when someone just buys an open gym pass for the daytime hours or the middle of the night hours when I'm not there, because they're seeing it run and they're utilizing it. And then they want to come in and they want to do an instructed class because they had a hard time following along with it because they don't know the terminology. And they were like, what is this about? Right. They turn it on and they're not linked to the system, but they turn the bag on and they see the count and they see the impact score. And then they're like, oh, wow. And then you explain to them, well, you know, there's an app, you'll log into your bag, it keeps your stats. And it's a selling point. It really is. And so even when people are coming in outside of our staffed hours and using the system, we're still getting a drop-in fee to the gym if they're not members. And then a lot of times that will flip them over to becoming a full member. So I haven't run into the problem of feeling as though I'm losing revenue because of using a 24/7 platform and unattended classes.
That's great.
It was better,
Great feedback.
Shannon. Your answer was much better. I like your answer better. I'm stealing your answer in the
Yeah.
future.
That was
All right, so
great.
let's
thank
hop over to the other one. I want to talk to you guys about. So one of the nicest things to me about Impact Rep is that whatever the members should be doing, second to second, moment to moment, is up on the screen. What combo to hit, when to do push-ups, when to rest. That it's all guided there. And there's a very important point, okay, that I want to make sure that when you create your classes that you're doing. Because Dan has had me, as I help people, I'm just being honest here. This is terrible that I'm going to say this. I've looked into the way that some people build classes and they're missing an opportunity. And if there's anybody here about what I'm going to talk about, I want you to stop doing what I'm about to talk about. So let's say if you're doing the start of a class and you're going to do a 10-minute warm-up, do not write warm-up and put 10 minutes up there. And then just have your coach make it up as you go along. Okay. I see way too much of that. Okay. And here's the reason why. So let's say Scott. Scott's come to my gym. He loves it, but he wants to try a class before he signs up. And he wants to do the 6 p.m. class on a Wednesday. Okay. And I say, Scott, I've got hand wraps for you. I got gloves to use. Bring water, dress comfortably. And please, Scott, be here 15 minutes before class starts. Okay. So I want Scott there at 5:45. Well, guess what? At 6:05, Scott walks in the door. Okay. It happens to us all the time. Okay. It happens constantly. The way that it used to be before Impact Rep is now I have a problem. Okay. I have 10 people in class. They've been waiting all day for their workout. Okay. And I need to go coach them and drive them and motivate them and kick them in the ass. But at the same time, I want Scott's money. I want Scott to join. Okay. And it's very hard to do both things at the same time. Wrap Scott's hands, get him ready, explain the stance, the tutorial, and at the same time, keep the class rolling. Does anybody disagree with that problem? Okay. It's a terrible moment to find yourself in. Like most gyms, you're just one coach. Okay. What Impact Rep has allowed me to do is turn my back on that class for 5 minutes. Or even better, hey, Melissa, Scott just walked in. I got to take care of him real class. Could you run this class for me real fast? Well, all Melissa has to do is read the screen. And Melissa's an OG and she's been here forever. And hell yeah, Melissa's happy to run the class. Okay. Melissa gets to shine for a little bit. She gets to yell at people and she gets to change the music and she's in charge. It's a great experience. Okay. So now I can grab Scott and give Scott a big old hug, and say, hey, buddy, don't worry about it. I know you're anxious. Okay. I know your kid was sick and it made you late and your wife didn't get home on time. But here you're now. You're going to have a great time, buddy. Don't worry about it. Okay. It's immediately, instantly a better result where Scott is happier and more at ease. If that just said 10-minute warm-up up there, guess what? Nothing's changed. I still have to call out push-ups, the coach. I still have to call up sit-ups and burpees and squats and everything else. And Scott's no longer getting my full attention. Okay. If every second's accounted for, like what we're seeing on here, every moment of my workout that Dan pulled up one of my workouts. This is Finn. This is named after my dog. Apparently I named my workouts after my dead grandmother, my dog, and everything else. But that's what it is. Okay. Everybody knows every second what should be going on. Don't just block off groups of time where, like I've seen, coach combos, for 10 minutes. And you've got a coach just supposedly calling out combos. Well, guess what? If suddenly one of your members gets sick and has to run to the bathroom and you've got to check on them, what's going to happen to your class? Okay. I'll pause here for a second. Any questions about this, guys? Why you do not want to?
100% agree. It's fantastic that way.
Yeah, please just make sure everything's accounted for. And a very similar circumstance is, let's say Todd here, it's Todd's 4th, 5th, 6th class, and he still doesn't have that lead hook down, guys. He's swatting at it in a funny way. Well, what Impact Wrap allows me to do, because everything's accounted for, is be a coach to Todd. Okay. I could turn my back on the class. All right, Todd, we're going to get this figured out. I want you to lean back as you raise your elbow and turn through the hook, lean back a little bit if you want to. And now it's me and Todd in a relationship. Okay. It's me and Todd and nobody else working on something while the rest of the class is working for another minute. Okay. Those human moments. Okay. And again, we're not in the fitness business. We're in the relationship business. Those moments of relationship building is what this system makes possible. But if you're just building out blocks of time, it can't happen. Make sense to everybody? So please, when you build your classes, I should be able, as a member, to look up and know what I'm doing moment to moment. We all have people in class where I call out a combo, and I can hear down the end of the gym somebody saying, "What did he say? What did he say? What did he say?" Like, it happens all the time. We'll turn around and read the screen. It's right up there. That's what I said. Make it easy on them, especially if you've got someone new and they feel like everybody's looking at them. Okay. And they don't hear what the coach says. Now they're really lost because now they're going to ask a dumb question. Everybody else seems to know what's going on here. Now they got to speak up and say, "What did he say?" Take all that away from them. Just have every second accounted for. Good, everybody? And the way this ties to profits, guys, I almost feel like I'm beating a dead horse, is you do not want that member to quit. You do not want to give them ever a bad experience in a class ever. They plan what they're going to eat all day long around this class, what they're going to wear, when they eat, absolutely everything all day long. They've been waiting for this class. Okay. Don't give them a bad experience. Okay. Now, where we're going to go next, I'm just going to talk about some cool things that help that relationship building that Impact Wrap makes possible. Because again, we're in the relationship business. What are some fun things that I've learned that hopefully this is going to be, at least you get one good idea out of this thing, that in a class, me or my coaches do use the Impact Wrap system that make people say that was awesome. And they leave on cloud nine. Okay. The first one I'm going to do, let's say Pedro. If Pedro's in my class, something I like to do is go around to everybody and ask for specific goals that they want to do in class. Okay. Do you want to get to 100,000 points? Do you want to burn 600 calories? What is it, Pedro, that you want to do? And then I'll grab a chalk marker and I'll write it on the bag. Okay. That way, because if I got 12 people in class, I cannot remember what the hell everybody told me. Okay. But in big, giant numbers, I'm going to write 600 calories on Pedro's bag. And I'm going to write 100,000 points on Scott's bag. Okay. And I'm going to write whatever on Victor's bag, whatever Victor tells me. Okay. He says he's never beaten 200,000 points. Well, God damn it, Victor, I'm putting 200,000 on this bag and we're going to make it happen. Okay. Now, something in coaching that I'm sure you guys know, and I feel stupid telling you. Okay. But in every class, you want one very specific coaching moment. Okay. Where I can identify a good thing that somebody's done that's very specific, unique to them in every single class without exception. And I preach that to my coaches up and down. So, for example, if I was to tell Melissa, "Hey, you did a great job today." Well, what did I do that was so great? Fuck, I have no idea. I don't know. You caught me. I didn't expect a question back. Okay. Instead, the way to coach is, "Victor, I told you 200 and you made 205. Man, boom, bring it in." That's how you build relationships. Okay. Where, "Hey, look, I know you didn't get your 500 calories, Scott, but man, you were in the red the whole time. I saw you wanted it. We're going to get it next time, but man, you and me, we're going to do it next time." Okay. That's where the relationship building happens. Okay. And that's where that member leaves thinking, "I've never had so much care and attention given to me before," and they're never going to quit your gym. Okay. That's what makes it all possible. If I didn't have a system like Impact Wrap, where I don't have score, I don't have calorie burn, there's no metrics, all I could possibly say is maybe your form's getting better, or it sounds like you're hitting harder. Okay. Now I have something very specific to coach and reward to. Does that make sense to everybody? before class. When your coaches are just BSing, have them go through every now and then. All right, guys, we're going to do targets today. What is your target? And get a very specific answer. Have them write it on the bag. If you've got a white bag, get a sticky note. I don't care, and put it on the bag where the whole workout they're looking at this thing, and your coach is looking at that thing, and they're cheering on everybody in that class about whatever those goals are. Make sense? All right. Dan will tell you. Oh God, I'm gonna get in trouble. I always get in trouble for this part. Okay. Dan is a big proponent of fight night kind of stuff. He's a big proponent. I'm not so much. Okay. But I love it when members, I don't want members beating members. I don't want members to ever lord something over, hey, I beat you at something. But I love it when they beat a coach. Oh, I love it when they beat a coach. I love that kind of class. If you guys can ever build a class where I've got one called Jaws. Jaws is the class that I have. It's our favorite coach against the class kind of format. Okay. And I'll explain what Jaws is because I want you guys thinking about something that you could create on your own, steal the idea, build something new. I don't care. All right. Here's what Jaws is. All my classes are 45 minutes long. Okay. For the first 40 minutes of the class, it's just a hard class. Combos, burpees, just like your stuff. Oh, here's Jaws right here. Okay. So Dan, scroll all the way down to the end. This is a regular class, guys. Same as anything else. Okay. Actually, go back up, Dan. Use the summary part because you can see the whole thing in there. So what happens is this. Scroll up a little bit higher because this is the finisher we're looking at right there. Stop there. So the way I've got this class set up, guys, is that inside impact wrap, no matter what the combos are, you can uncheck the track points. So if you look over to the left, you see that 1, 2, 3, 4 / 1, 2, 2, 3 up at the top. The track points is unchecked. Okay. I want zeros on everybody's bag in Jaws the whole way through because I don't want it complicated when we have to figure out who won at the end. So it's zeros the whole way through class. Okay. But they're still working it. The way Jaws works is after I run them through the gauntlets, okay, and they're tired, whoever the coach is, there's 1, 2, 5 rounds, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So the start of the first of 5 rounds, the members get a head start because remember they're already tired. So I give the members a 1 minute head start to start just hitting the bag as much as they want. They could do burnouts, they could just freestyle. They hit the bag as much as they want for 1 minute, and then Jaws sees them. Jaws is the coach, and then for 1 minute, the coach gets one arm only. You can throw just crosses, hooks, just one arm only for 1 minute. The coach has a score. All the members have a score. Then for rounds 3, 4, and 5, it's go. After the 5 minutes, you look at the scores. Everybody the coach has beaten has gotten eaten, and then everybody who has a higher score than the coach survived. And then we do a group picture at the end. All the dead people are laying dead on the floor, and the coach is there, and everybody who lives there survives them. It's fun as hell, guys. You could do mystery Jaws, okay? Like we're going to pick a Jaws person out of the membership, okay? And have them beat Jaws. They don't even know it's coming, okay? This is one of my favorite classes because, they want to beat that coach, okay? That is, as soon as they find out it's Jaws, they're salivating at the chance, okay? Because I've got a lot of members here, they come at times where it's me or someone else. I want to kill everybody. I've had classes I killed absolutely everybody in class. They're all laying there in the picture dead. Oh, they want a shot at me again. So anything you can do to gamify the system, to make it a memorable experience, please do. Is anybody's head spinning with ideas right now? If so, say something, ask a question. The concept is beat the coach. Okay. That's because the coach wants to cheer about being beat because he loves the action. He loves the effort, the intensity of that. Everybody wins. Okay. So anytime you're thinking competition, make your coach the villain. Does that make sense? All right. I'll give you one more, then maybe we'll take a break for just some conversation about churn and stuff like that. Do you remember what I said? You should always have one good human moment. Okay, in every single class, every single person in that class, the coach should identify something good they did, something they improved on, something they're doing better. It's concrete and measurable and everything else. If there's a way that that you could start to document and put that together. So, sort of talking around the subject, me personally, the gym owner, Travis, every single month, every single person of mine that has a boxing membership gets 2 touches a month. So I reach out over messenger, text, whatever. Everybody's got their own preferences, and I know what they are because of all those human moments from classes that have come in. After class, I do a really good job of note taking, guys, and your coaches might want to do this. Those messages I've made more money off of than absolutely everything else in the gym combined. Those every other week messages where I talk and they know it's Travis, the owner, that cares, who works out next to him and coaches him and everything else, because I'm being very specific about what I'm talking to them about. In that, hey, I'm coaching 9 o'clock. Really great job this week. I saw you hit 120 finally on impact rep, and your calories are through the roof. Melissa knows I'm talking to Melissa, and Melissa knows it's not a cut and paste kind of circumstance. My churn, the number of people who quit my gym because they don't feel engaged or they don't feel seen or there's a better gym in town, is basically zero. Flat out fucking zero. Because I'm coaching to people and I've got relationships with people. And impact rep is the can opener that lets me get into data and detail, that lets me understand how I'm helping and how people are getting better, and that's what they want to know about. Do you guys understand this a little bit? It is a huge key point in giving that little bit of extra attention where your people never, ever leave your gym. I have members and coaches here that swear I have a cult. They swear this is a cult. Okay. And it's all from attention and love and relationships. You have to give that to your people. Okay. And there's a very good tool that you're all paying for already that provides this. Questions, thoughts, ideas before we just sort of open it up to anything? Did this make sense to you guys? Speak up, say anything.
Hey Travis, just a quick thing about adding classes. What about what have you done with kids programs that are different than adult programs?
So,
So I saw a kids JAWS in your library.
yeah. So, it that question ties because we're talking about profits. If you guys want to talk about a really easy way to make money, have a kids program. Like it's just money, And this sort of ties. Do you remember when I talked about have every second accounted for? Because the attention span of the kids is so bad. It's just my hands hurt, tie my shoes, I need a drink of water. They're all over the place. Having every second accounted for is how I run those kids programs. We do a 10-minute warm up. We learn for about 10 minutes. They get to hit mitts with me for about 10 minutes. Then when you're not hitting mitts with me, there's an activity that's up on the screen. And then we have an actual fight team here as well. Then I bring all the kids into the ring and I put my headgear on and I let them actually hit me. And they think it's the greatest thing in the world. But it's easy money. I charge $10 a kid. It's a 55-minute class. I get 15 to 20 people. Okay. And it's just a really easy setup. Does that answer your question, Dan, about just running a kids program? It's so I might run mine Saturday at 10 o'clock, and it's just, they buy wraps. I've got gloves to loan because they cost $15 on Amazon for a 10-ounce pair of kids gloves. But I've made a ton of money off that. And again, it's the problem is if I'm trying to corral little Jimmy, and get Jimmy to pay attention, well, the other 15 kids in class, like they're not getting my attention at this point. I've got all the parents there. They're looking up at the screen. They tell the kid to throw their 3-4 burnouts or whatever it is they need to do. And the class is running well. And the parents are happy because the kids are tired. It's very easy. I mean, if you're not running a kids program, you really are letting money just slip right by you. So if there's some way you can do it, all your members have kids and they love your gym and they would love to bring your kids in. So just make it happen. If you ever got any questions on how to run it, like I said, I think I've got 5, 6, 7 different kids programs. I just pick whichever one I want to do. I'd be glad to help.
So do you run the classes simultaneously then?
Mm-mm. So on Saturdays, I've got a normal boxing class from 9 to 9:45. And then 10 to 10:55 is when I run the kids program. And my wife wraps the kids' hands because I'm the 9 o'clock coach. So she's wrapping all the little kids' hands. So I've only got that little 15-minute period where I'd have to, again, talk to my members, after that. Hey, Janice, you did great. You want to give those hugs. Well, she's wrapping the kids' hands. And then when there's about 5 minutes left in class, that's when I start talking to all the parents, hey, glad you made it in. Just pay me after the class, pay me afterwards, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, if that answers it.
Yeah, well, my question was because we're getting ready to open the gym, so we're trying to figure out our class structure. Actually, with that, we thought about we've ran into an issue with a lot of people saying, "Well, we're not going to be able to come to class because we don't have someone to watch little Jimmy or little Tina." So if we ran the classes, because the way our gym's split up is we can essentially divide them in half. We can have adults on one side, children on the other side, and they can come spend 1 hour instead of actually taking two separate classes, for the adults to get one, children to get one. Does that make sense?
Will you be able? So I can, and I'm bragging. I could develop a class that adults would enjoy and kids would enjoy. I really could build that class. But if you've got one system, it would have to be built that way, Victor. So that if it's running simultaneously, everyone's doing push-ups at the same time, everyone's hitting 1, 2, 3 at the same time. That's the only way that would work if you're going to divide it that way.
So I guess simultaneously was the incorrect word then, but we're going to have them running concurrent. So we'll have two instructors.
Okay.
And the one instructor is running the adults completely separately, but looking through the bag racks, the children are right there. So the parents have a constant visual on their kids as well. But the kids are being trained by an entirely different person. That way they still have that immediate attention because, as you mentioned, the attention span of the children is so small and you need someone to be there because if it's not fair to focus all on the kids and just leave the adults by themselves.
Totally. Are you running the kids class as extra revenue or just as almost a daycare program that the parents can drop the kids off and they can go do this thing?
It would be extra revenue. It would almost essentially be a family plan. So you could run in to where you have 3 or 4 kids, you have both adults, and it's one group price. That way, like if you're one person, one kid, you can still pay a drop-in fee if you need someone to essentially watch your kid. But they're able to go get all that energy out. Mom's tired, dad's tired, the kid's tired. Everyone can go home and eat dinner and have a nice relaxing evening together. But at the same time, they're not suffering, because they're like, well, I really wanted to work out tonight, but he was stuck at his after school program and I had to go wait to pick him up or something of that nature.
I think it's genius, buddy. If I had the space to do that, I would steal that. So I think that's a great idea. The only question I have is, so the adults class is using Impact Wrap. With the kids class, how would they run the class?
So we're going to do the attached heavy bags, and then we're going to be doing the kids class on the floating bags.
But you don't necessarily need Impact Wrap, the screens and all that for the kids.
No, not necessarily.
Okay. Well, if you ever want to give something like that a try and you want to run something that both sides could do at the same time, reach out to me. I could probably help with something like that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. Scott, you okay, buddy?
Yeah, I'm similar to Victor's question. How do I implement the class? I never really contemplated going to a 24/7 facility for my particular training modality. But if I could add 5 uncoached classes to my current rotation, and if those 5 classes could approximate the experience of a coached class with the video, that would be a game changer for me. I could get my OGs and my people who are looking for one more class or more availability without increasing my overhead to do that. And so what I'm trying to figure out is how to take my coached class experience and approximate that with this tool. And so that's where my mind is right now. And I have 6 60-inch TVs up in my gym. I can do video and Impact Wrap all day long. I've got the audio. I'm just trying to figure out how to do an uncoached class with 90% of the effect of a coached class.
So here's the advice I give you. is it's going to work itself out. Just hear what I'm saying here. It's going to work itself out. Once you start doing the schedule, the way you're thinking, those 5 classes, it will work itself out. The members that will take that class will take ownership of that class. Okay. And it will become a thing that you can't manage or not manage. It will just become their time without a coach to get a good workout. Okay. And it will just become whatever it is. So don't feel like you've got to create something or manage something. It will become its own thing and it will be successful. I've got nurses. There's a hospital a couple blocks away.
It's kind of like what you were saying about don't put 10-minute warm up with no specific direction. Every second of the 10-minute warm up needs to be scripted. It needs to have a plan. So I'm just trying to figure out for that 60-minute class where I tell them what to do in 30-second increments for the whole 60 minutes. What am I going to run during that period that approximates that? I know they'll own it. I don't have to run everything, but I do have to come up with something that runs itself.
Sure.
Hey, Scott, this is Chun. I toyed with that idea at the studio, and I did have some show rate. It was small, and the feedback from the members is that they would much prefer an instructor-led class. Having said that, it does provide, more options for them, which is a value. What I recently discovered that is that in Impact Wrap, you can upload photos and videos. I think that would enhance the experience, but I haven't yet tested that feature.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about is the video, incorporating the video, Chun.
Right.
We have the video. I have an instructor who can do it. I can run, similar classes, but I wouldn't do, the 1, 2, 3 or the 1, 1, 3, 3. That's not our vibe. I mean,
No.
it is an instructor-led class with somebody saying jab cross, and this is how you do a jab cross. So I have to, in order to approximate my live class, which, like you say, is what people are used to. If I came back with 1, 1, 3, 3, they'd be like, "What the heck is this? This isn't us." So I just got to figure out how to make it work.
There's no, and if you fix it 10 times, it's totally okay. Get some feedback on how it goes, and it will be okay. Who cares if you get it wrong the first couple of times? Change a couple rounds in here, it'll make all the difference in the world. And it will be a value add. Chun has every single one of my members would prefer it being a live class. All of them. Nobody's there because they're trying to avoid live classes, except the ones with anxiety I talked about. But they can't. That's why they're there. And they're just happy for the opportunity to go bang away. So there's no downside to this.
Yeah, and so Scott, with what you can put up on the different screens, so you can customize the screens, and each server can connect to a TV, and you can show an image or a video or the leaderboard, right? So those images, you can create them yourself. It could be an animated GIF as well. But the video, yes, short clips that are non 4K. We can talk offline because you can configure this the way it is right now.
Keep it in our head. I'm sure we can make it happen. What I got to do is get a picture of it in my head first.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
The way that we use Impact Wrap to make money for us and to make profit is we opened 5 years ago, Travis, as well, in Oregon City. And this was pre-Impact Wrap for us. We were selling our 1-hour instructor-led classes, unlimited number of classes per month for $145 per month at that time. Now we sell that same package for $265 per month. So $100 additional fees, but part of the value stack is Impact Wrap. Part of the value stack is our in-body scan. Part of the value stack is other things that and we incorporate that into our sales mix. We explain to them what the technology does for them and how it accelerates their path to their results and gives them endless progress, etc. So we're making money every day on Impact Wrap by selling our memberships for $100 a month more than what we sold them for 5 years ago.
Oh, nice.
Pedro, did you like it? You still with us, buddy? Might be with his kids.
Matthew as well.
Yes, yes, Travis.
Yes, sir. Any good takeaway?
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I was thinking the same path as Scott with that one, as far as running classes without an instructor. And I know that Impact Wrap has so many features and functions with the videos and the photos and so on. I've been trying to utilize. I'm always communicating with Todd over there about the features and so on. But the instructor-led classes, I'm on the same page with Scott on that. Have used videos that say, like, we have instructor teaching a combination, jab, cross, hook, right roundhouse kick. The way I'm thinking is, on the video, have an instructor during the rest period explaining the combination on video, and then they hear the bell, and the instructor is demonstrating it the entire time on the screen while the members are working out. And then the bell rings, and then another video pops up. So it's part of somehow, if it can be timed with the class format. That's what I was thinking, having additional classes. I can see some members taking advantage of that because of class times, just having odd class times that they can pop into on their own and not have to worry about other members or being told what to do and whatnot. I can see an advantage with that. And who knows, it could be an explosion with the memberships.
A tiny little bit that I hope might help, Pedro. Please don't feel like you need to go out when this starts to make a bunch of videos. Just try without the videos. You have so many OGs, that know how to do everything. There's
Right.
literally no combination that they can't throw.
Right.
Don't feel like you need to dumb it down so much. And if it turns out you need to, then by all means do it. But test the easy way first. Just create the classes, create the 1, 2, 3 step back 2, whatever it might be, and just see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, then you can add some videos later. But don't make it super top heavy at the beginning. To go. That's my little bit of advice, my friend. That's all I'd say.
Got it. Just start at the top and work your way up.
Yeah, solve the problem if they show up. But your OGs are going to kill it. They know how to do everything, and they're the ones that are more likely to take advantage of this than a new person. In all honesty, I have more vets that are back there using my auto classes than new people. So,
I bet. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
all right, guys, we all good here. Dan, you want to close this?
Great. Well, yep. Thank you very much, Travis, for everything. So we're going to send out a recording for those of us listening. But I appreciate everybody being on the call today. Again, just as a reminder, we're going to start a series of this next time. We're going to talk about fight night ideas, other competitive competition ideas, followed up with communication, engagement with members, resources. If you guys have other ideas, throw it our way. I mean, really, everything is about, the member experience, and you guys are integral to that. So anything that we can do to enhance it, please let us know. But otherwise, thank you very much and have a great weekend.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.